my dear students and professional English learners. This is Teacher Aracelis, founder of Oxford English Center. Welcome to a new episode of our podcast, A Coffee with Teacher Aracelis. So grab your coffee, tea, matcha, mate, whatever you want to drink so you can feel comfortable and relax and enjoy our episode. Today, I want to talk to you about a simple but very powerful technique to improve your English, shadowing. And shadowing can help you improve your listening, pronunciation, fluency, rhythm, and confidence when speaking. And the best part is that you don't need to have a perfect level to start practicing shadowing. You only need attention, repetition, patience, and very important, consistency. In this episode, I will explain what shadowing is, why it works, and how you can use it with our courses at Oxford English Center. Remember, this is Teacher Aracelis. Now let's see, what is shadowing? This is a technique where you listen to someone speaking in English and repeat what they say almost at the same time. You follow the speaker like a shadow. That is why it is shadowing. But you are not only repeating words, you are trying to copy the pronunciation, rhythm, pauses, intonation, stress, and natural flow of English. For example, if you hear, I'd like to make an appointment for tomorrow morning, you repeat it almost immediately, following the speaker as closely as possible. At first, it may feel difficult, yes. You may miss some words or feel that the speaker is too fast. That is normal. Shadowing is training for your English voice, your English communication. It feels your ear, brain, and mouth work together. That is shadowing. Now, why we say that it is effective? Many students understand English when they read or listen. Does it happen to you? You read, you listen, and you understand. But when you need to speak, you hesitate, right? So you said, normally I listen to my students that say, teacher, I understand, but I can't speak. This happens because understanding English and producing English are different skills. Shadowing helps close that gap between understanding and producing. It moves English from your mind to your voice. You stop studying English only as information, only to receive. Now you start training English as communication. Now let's talk a little bit about some benefits of shadowing. Shadowing improves listening comprehension because you pay attention to how English really sounds. You notice connected speech, pauses, strong words, or the emphasis or the stress of the words, weak words, and natural rhythm. It improves pronunciation because you copy the music of English, not only individual and separated words. You learn how your voice should move, where to pause, and which words to emphasize. All of this improves fluency because repeated phrases become more automatic. Expressions like, I'd like to, could you please, let me explain, I'm concerned because become easier to use in real conversations. And shadowing builds confidence because you are not speaking alone. You are following a model. You are practicing with structure and noticing progress little by little, step by step. And important, confidence does not come from perfection. You don't have to have a perfect sentences, perfect speaking or way to communicate. Confident confidence becomes when you feel more and more confident when you practice more and more. So confidence comes from practice. That's what we can say. Now, how to practice shadowing with our courses. When you study in our courses, do not only watch the lessons like a checklist. No, train with the lessons. Choose a short section from a video, dialogue, an audio, a model answer, or pronunciation activity. It can be only 20 or 30 seconds. Then, first, listen without speaking. Understand the situation and the message. Then, read the transcript. If that is the case, most of our lessons have the transcript or text if it is available, okay? But most of our lessons have the transcripts. Notice difficult words. So you listen and you're reading. Notice difficult words, pauses, and important phrases. After that, you listen again and repeat sentence by sentence, but as shadowing, as immediately as possible. Focus on clarity first, not speed. Fluency is not speaking quickly. So focus on clarity, pronouncing, trying to repeat every single word you hear. Then play the audio again and shadow it. Repeat almost at the same time as the speaker. Finally, record yourself and listen, and then compare the original audio with your audio. But do not criticize yourself, please. Coach yourself. Choose one thing that you hear in your audio to improve. The most important final step in this process is to personalize the phrase. For example, if you practice, I'd like to ask you a few questions. You can substitute and you can say, I'd like to ask you about your symptoms. I'd like to ask you about your medication. I'd like to ask you about your opinion in relation to this topic. This is how shadowing becomes real communication. When you personalize the phrases, the sentences that you repeat. What do you think until this part? I hope this has helped you because shadowing is one of the most practical techniques you can use to improve your English. It helps you listen better, pronounce more clearly, speak with better rhythm, improve your fluency, and build confidence, which is very, very important. But remember something. Shadowing is not about perfection. It is about practice. And at the beginning, I said consistency. In our courses at Oxford English Center, you can use shadowing, I repeat, with video lessons, dialogues, vocabulary sections, speaking tasks, live classes, and the AI language tutor. Very good and important practice of shadowing with the AI language tutor, which is extremely useful. So do not only watch the lessons, train with the lessons, as I said at the beginning. Listen, repeat, shadow, record yourself, personalize the phrases, and use your voice. English is not only about studying grammar or memorizing vocabulary. Remember this, English is about communication, and that is why you study English. And shadowing helps you move from understanding English to speaking English with more confidence. That is my purpose, that you speak with confidence. So, thank you for listening to this episode. Keep practicing, keep improving, and remember, English can open doors, but your voice is what helps you walk through those doors. This is Teacher Aracelis. Share this content if you like it and keep practicing.